Well, I'm just going to make a very informal video. I was planning to make this video for quite a while. Actually, not for the purpose is not making just a video. It's about tricking myself into doing something. Okay, so I've been planning to read few books, I think, for years. I don't know actually when I thought about reading these books, but I could not do it. So then I thought that, well, I should make promises to myself that I'm gonna read these books. So I should summarize these books on a video. I should film myself about the summary or gist or the crux of few books on my list. Okay, and that way I just get myself started. Okay, so that's the purpose. And I'm on top of that, I'm very sick. You can hear me that my nose is stuffed. All year round I have a stuffy nose, so it's very hard for me to breathe through my ear, through my nose when I catch cold. Okay, so I caught cold severely and I cannot talk properly. So you might find myself a little feeble, weak, and maybe not that eloquent that you might have found me in other videos. Okay, but anyway, I should stop babbling and show you the books. Okay, the first one is The Essential. I think it's Mirrors. Oh my god, you can see this because no, I think you can see it properly. So The Essentials, I'm gonna well read few lines from this book, sorry. And this one is my most favorite, and this is also from Harvard Business Review, HBR. Okay, Harvard University has a press. Okay, they publish books all the way around, and all these books are from Harvard Business Review. And I planned to read these books for quite a while and could not do that. So today I'm gonna read few pages from these books and just keep those on my channel, so that later when I start this book it feels easy. Okay, it doesn't feel that, well, I am taking this book and I have to read out the whole book. It's a huge burden. So if I summarize these books to some extent, then later it's going to be easier for me to go all this through, right? And the other 6 books are, as I said, these are called HBR's 10 must read. Okay, so though it says that HBR 10 must read, but I don't have all the 10 books here. I only have 6. So here's 6. Okay, out of this 10, only 6. This is one part, and this is the about presentation, HBR Guide to Persuasive Presentation, and then the Essential. Okay, so maybe I'm gonna be spending 10 minutes per book, so 7 to 8 minutes per book. Okay, it's gonna be a long video, so you can watch the video in full, but you don't have to. Okay. And I definitely will make some chapters. YouTube just introduced a chapter thing, when you just click on each chapter and just go right into the material of that chapter, right? So I might do this as well. So let me put these books on my table, okay, and let's see what's inside. By the way, this is not reviewing. This is not making reviews on these books. This is about just knowing few things about these books, just talking about these books, because I don't know much about this book at all. So yeah, let's see. This is going to be very boring because I don't know much about these books. 1, 2, I'm sick, and 3, I haven't planned the structure of this video out before actually making this video. So it's gonna be very raw. So you'll feel how I think, my raw thinking process, and etc. Okay, so let's start. My God, I fell. So, okay. This book has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 10. Okay, so this book actually an ensemble of 10 groundbreaking topics. Okay, let me read a few things out to you. Like HBR's 10 must-reads series is the definitive collection of ideas and best practices for aspiring and experienced leaders alike. These books offer essential reading selected from the pages of Harvard Business Review on topics critical to the success of every manager. Wow. Each book is packed with advice and inspiration from leading experts such as, well, I should not pronounce their name. Maybe I should. Clayton Christensen. Why I was faltering a little bit? Because, you know what? As a non-native English speaker, when you try to pronounce the proper nouns, okay, the names of people of different language, it's very hard to pronounce it correctly if you haven't listened to that, even if you haven't heard that names pronounced by somebody else in the native language, right? You get the point. So, okay. So Clayton Christensen, Peter Drucker, Rosabeth Moss Kanner, John Cotter, Michael Porter, Daniel Goleman, Theodore Levitt, Rita Gunter McGrath. Okay. So, one thing for sure, this book is something very important or utmost important for manager of any field. Okay, if you're a manager, if you have to manage things, maybe people, maybe project, or and whatnot. So this book is for you because it is it is as I mentioned, is an ensemble of 10 groundbreaking articles by 10 big thinkers, okay, in this area, okay. So, my God, already 8 minutes. I'm already 8 minutes into the video. Maybe not 8 minutes, yeah, 6 or 7 minutes, yeah. So, the first one is the first article is written by, so this book is not written by one author. So this book is not authored by one person. Rather, as I mentioned, 10 persons, okay? Meeting the Challenge of Disruptive Change by Clayton Christensen and Michael Overdorf. That's the first article, and it's almost 20 pages, more than 20 pages long article. So definitely I'm not gonna read the whole book in this video, but it says meeting the challenge of disruptive change. So if you're a manager, sometimes you have to meet changes. Actually, not sometimes, very frequently you have to meet disruptive change, not just normal change that you see everyday life, maybe disruptive change, right? Maybe new technology is incorporated in your office, right, or in your workstation, or maybe a new process or new project is being undertaken by the authority of the company you're working for. Maybe you're an entrepreneur, you're just undertaking a new project, right? So maybe for that it is very challenging, right, for you. So so that you are not scared, so that you just do not freak out by the changes that you might face while you manage projects and manage people or whatnot. This article is a must read for you. Okay, maybe I can read a few lines from here. Where capabilities reside. Wow, but this is very big. Where capabilities reside. Let me read the first 2 sentences, okay? These are scary times for managers in big companies. Even before the internet and globalization, their track record for dealing with major disruptive change was not good. Out of hundreds of department stores, for example, only one Dayton Hudson. So let me read first 2 sentences from it, okay? So these are scary times for managers in big companies. Even before the internet and globalization, their track record for dealing with major disruptive change was not good. Out of hundreds of department stores, for example, only one, Dayton Hudson, became a leader in discount retailing. Hard topic. But if you can understand the message of this topic, for sure your job is gonna be easy. Maybe this topic is hard, but your job's gonna be easy if you read this article out to yourself. So medical and business schools are struggling and failing to change their curricula fast enough to train the types of doctors and managers their markets need, and the list go on. Yeah, so all around you, you'll find disruptive changes, and you need to adapt yourself. How can you adapt yourself to these changes? For those who want to adapt yourself, or for those who actually have to be adaptive actually, then they have to read this book. So yeah, this is pretty much about its idea in brief. Yeah, you can read this, but this is too long an article for me to get the crux of this idea presented by Clayton, right? So next is computing and analytics. Don't you think that you need to know about analytics to adjust performances, to adjust to decide what to do next, and to come up with better plans? Definitely you need to know the analysis process, or how to analyze data, right? The analytics, okay? How data should be presented. If you have to present your performance or data to somebody else, how would you analyze those data? How would you present those data to somebody, right? Or how somebody else should present data to you so that you can make decisions out of it. Okay, and this one is written by Thomas H. Davenport. Okay, so managing oneself, theoretical. So that is also, I think, very important. So managing, if you cannot manage yourself, like, for example, lately I have started making my bed when I just after I wake up. Okay, I did not have this habit my whole life. I hated it. I just always wanted somebody else to make my bed. Yeah. But lately I discovered that if I make my bed myself after waking up, I just subconsciously giving my mind a message that, well, you have taken some responsibility, and you feel that accomplishment, the joy of accomplishment, okay? And this little joy actually just works as an impetus for other things to do, okay? So that's just an example from my life, but definitely there are other examples right? There are other examples, but my point is that you should manage yourself first before even thinking of changing others' lives. You get the idea. Maybe I've been horrendous. Maybe I have been horrible so far explaining things, but I believe that you're smart enough to understand what I'm trying to say. So putting the balanced scorecard to work, that is also very important. So you cannot work like hell all the day, just leaving your personal life behind, leaving the people who care you most behind. You cannot do this, right? You need to balance your life, because if you don't do it in the long run, maybe in the short run you gain some benefits. If you just have worked so hard for last week, that's okay. That's for 7 days. But for next 7 years, if you work that way, then you'll find that you have lost your family, you've lost your close ones, the people who actually care with you most, right? So you do not want to lose them, do you? So for that reason, you want to manage, or more precisely balance the work and life. Okay, entertainment is important. Spending time with your spouse is important. With your children, if you have any, is important. So to go out with your parents is important, right? All these things actually are at play when you want to exponentially aspire to progress in your life. Okay, yeah. Innovation, the classic traps. I don't know about this topic. I cannot guess what could be proposed in this article. It's too hard for me to guess with just few words. The next that article was written by Rosabeth Moskander. Maybe someday I'll make a video on this topic. Next comes leading chains, why transformation efforts fail. I think it has something to do with the first topic, that is meeting the disruptive change. Why? Leading change, some change, you are anticipating some change to happen in your organization, in your personal life, but you need to take the lead of that change. If you do not lead from the front, then somebody else actually will instead, and you definitely will not feel good working for others. Okay, so yeah. Marketing myopia. So myopia, I think, I recall myopia means that you do not have a long sight. You cannot see things that are very, very distant. You cannot see distant object, right? So marketing myopia means, I think here, my best guess would be that you're marketing your products some way that in the very long run it actually falls apart. Okay, it's not a big hit, or people aren't willing to buy your idea or your project or whatever you're preaching anymore because of the mistakes that you're making, because you cannot foresee those future, you cannot foresee those things that are going to happen to this project or idea. Yeah, that's the marketing myopia, I think. Then Michael E. and marketing myopia is written by Theodore Levitt. And then what is the strategy? Michael E. Porter. What is a strategy? If you want to know the definition of what is a definition of a strategy and how you can make your own strategy for whatever you like, then I think this article is best for you. It's the core competition of the corporations. And that was written by Michael E. Porter. What is strategy? The last groundbreaking article is written by C.K. Prahalad and Gary Hamel. Sorry if I mispronounce these names. The article is core competition of the corporation. So in any corporation, there are lots of competitions going on. So there are lots of moving parts in a corporation, and if you don't know the dynamics of this competition, you will lag behind. Okay, you cannot succeed, you cannot proceed well. So if you do not know the core competition of any corporation, okay. So this video is this article is about that. So I think I just have read out the index of this book, right? I haven't. I thought that I can by just looking few pages I can summarize this book to some extent, but that's not possible. But at least I told him, I just mentioned to myself that this book has 10 articles, and these all are groundbreakings, and these articles are not written by just one person or multiple person. Okay. Oh my God, I'm tired. I've been on camera for almost 20 minutes. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, so I will read this book, and whenever I finish this book, I'll make another video. Okay. And I will try to give you. I will try to explain. I will try to give you the proper explanation of what these ideas actually stand for. Okay, let me grab the second book. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Severe cold. So this is a persuasive presentation, my most favorite one. I love to give presentations. When I was at my university, I used to love give presentations in front of audience. So maybe it's innate ability. Is if you ask me to give any talk of any length to any size of audience, I feel very comfortable. I don't feel shy. I don't feel I don't hesitate. Okay, if there is anything that just actually goes through my brain, then I can tell that to any audience of any size. Okay, maybe that's innate quality I am born with. Yeah, but I don't know how good I can deliver my message to somebody. That's up on people. That judgment should be by people, okay, the audience. But I'm saying that I feel very comfortable. I don't feel shy. I don't hesitate to speak to any audience of any size. And this book actually definitely should touch my heart and mind, okay, because it says that persuasive presentation. So lots of people make presentations, but how many of those actually are persuasive, right? So being persuasive is the key. So if you're not persuasive, then your presentation, your talks are all in vain, right? Okay. So, but I think unlike the first book, I can give you better view of this book, okay? Because I think I recall I read 50% of this book, I think 2 years ago or 3 years ago. Yeah. So It is written by Nancy Durate. Nancy Durate. Yeah, that's how I pronounce it. Okay, I'm sorry if I mispronounce it. Okay. So you'll find a TED Talk, okay, by Nancy Durate on the same topic. She's amazing. Okay, she's amazing, and she just cracked how you can make great presentation, or what are the components of a great speech. Okay, how you can be persuasive, how you can be convincing. Okay, she mastered this skill. She analyzed the greatest speeches like Steve Jobs' iPhone launching event, the speech that he gave at the launch of iPhone, or Martin Luther King's famous I Have a Dream speech. Okay, that was also awesome. And he analyzed these few famous speeches and found some pattern of great or famous speeches. Okay, yeah. Sorry, I got severe cold. So the book has 7 sections. The first section is about audience. Okay, it says know your audience and build empathy. Yeah, so I will just say a few more words about it once I'm done mentioning all the chapters' name. The second one is message, the message that you want to deliver to the audience. The third one is a story. I mean, so the second one was the message, and this third one is a story. I mean, you have how do you want to deliver your message to your audience? Okay, in what form? What should be the structure? Right. So that's the story. And third one is media. I mean, it's kind of, it has something to do with technicality, okay? And the technologies, or maybe a live presentation, maybe a recorded presentation, maybe a Zoom presentation, maybe an auditorium presentation, whatever. So you know which you're good at, right? So you choose your media. The second, that's the fourth one, and the fifth one is slides. Well, so what are you going to show to your audience? The visuals, okay? So that actually helps audience better understand your story or your message. Okay, so slides are important. It should not clutter with lots of, it should not look messy. Okay, so when you make slides, that's important. The sixth one is delivery. I mean, sixth one is about you, how you are delivering your message, your confidence, your posture, your dress up, and it's all about you. Okay, that's the delivery. Oh my God, I've been talking to the camera, I think, for almost 30 minutes. It's taking toll on me, toll on my ear, toll on my eyes. Okay. And the last one is impact. What impact you want to leave, or what impact you want to make on your audience. So when you leave the auditorium or podium, what is it that you have given to them? What impact? How they have changed their ideas? How you've changed? How you've moved the mindset of the audience? Okay, so it's all about that. The impact. Okay, so yeah. So let's talk about a few things about the first section. That's audience. Know your audience. So you have to understand your audience as much as you can. You have to analyze your audience first. If you know who are your audience, who you're going to give your speech to, then you need to analyze them first. You need to know them inside out, at least as much as you can. That way you'll understand what they actually want to hear and why are they willing to listen to you. Okay, what message will matter to them. So that's definitely important, right? So if you are an audience, you want to listen to something that you want to listen to, right? So the audience is first. So the first thing first, and the first thing is audience. You need to analyze your audience first. Who are sitting just in front of you? Okay, you need to analyze them first. Then you should come up with your ideas that might impact their lives, right? So the message, that's important. So you need to define your big idea first. The big idea, the main idea, the core, the crux of your speech. What is that, right? And definitely you just cannot say your big idea right in their faces, in the faces of the audience, right? So you have to have supporting ideas. You have to have other ideas or other things that will just help your ideas bloom better or become lucid or very clear to understand. Okay, so you need supporting ideas as well. And you have to be proactive, because you need to keep, this is very important, right? So you should expect resistance from the audience. So not all the people will buy your idea. Okay, so you have to anticipate resistance from the audience. So if you believe that, so you will convert your ideas will be converted. Your people will just convert your ideas, right? So you're just all wrong. You shouldn't anticipate that way, because if you do anticipate that way, then when you find any resistance, then you will feel diffident, okay, and you'll lose your confidence, and you'll look very weak in front of the audience, and so the rest of the presentation will not stand out if you do that way, right? So yeah, you can make contrast, you can make examples, and you definitely should make some call to action to your message. Call to action to do something like that, do this or do that. You should do it, some advice, some piece of advice. Those are very important to present your main idea, okay? And you should organize your thoughts. Yeah. And a story. So a story is very important. So people love to story. So when we were kids, we loved to hear stories from our grandmas, right? So when we're not kids anymore, even then we like to hear stories, right? Or any messages that are presented in the form of stories. So right after the beginning, yeah, I'm just taking a rest because I'm feeling weak, very weak. I haven't talked in front of cameras this long for a very long time. Okay, create solid structure to a story. So you have to craft the beginning of the story. I mean, you should hook your audience by saying something at the very beginning of your story, right? So that the people's attention are hooked to your speech. Okay, they just want that burning desire to know what will unfold later in your speech. Okay, so that's the clue. So your beginning should be very enthralling, very amazing, very thought-provoking, right? I mean, you should tease them. You should tease them, right? Okay. So, and then you should develop the middle. Build tension between what is and what could be. So build, yeah. And the ending is also very important. So you should leave your audience in awe, like, what? That was so groundbreaking. I haven't thought it this way before, or I just cannot believe that people can think this simple topic this amazingly, right? So so you should make a story. So you should craft the beginning, you should develop the middle, you should make ending powerful. Then the media. Make the most of the slide software. Okay. So media is important, right? So many times when you start your presentation, you'll see that the monitor is not working well, the software isn't opening fast, or there are some technical glitches where the sound system isn't working well. So you should be well aware of the fact that the technologies are being used here properly and systems are completely okay. Because if you're in the middle of the mess, if you just got yourself into a messy condition before you speak to the camera or before you speak to the audience, then definitely not, you'll lose confidence, okay? And people will also be bored. So before you even start your presentation, they will form a negative impression in their minds, and the rest of the presentation will not be that much enthralling, that much interesting to them. Okay. Then slides. Conceptualize and simplify the display information. Okay. So I'm going to just say the big idea of this section. That is, you should make slides in a way that they grasp the main idea of that slide in 3 seconds. Okay. If your slides are very cluttered and they cannot grasp the main idea of what the slide is presenting to them, then that's a very boring presentation. For example, you can take yourself as an example. If you just remember a slide presentation, if the slide isn't that good, if the slide was very cluttered, could you pay enough attention to that presentation? I bet you could not. That's not possible. And delivery. 6th section. You only can deliver your message properly and confidently when you practiced enough and well. Okay, when you have practiced well enough. So that way only you can be super good. You can be super good at their presentations. If you haven't practiced so well, then you cannot outperform yourself. Okay, so you should rehearse enough, and you cannot pretend to be anybody else who present well, right? You have to be yourself. You just gotta be yourself. Your personality. You should portray your personality in front of the audience. You cannot camouflage yourself with others' image, okay, others' personality. That way, I mean, it doesn't work that way, okay? You should be likable, and the only way you can be likable is that you are portraying yourself, your personality in a kind way, in a very accommodating and welcoming way. Okay. The last one is the impact. You should measure the impact that your presentation has made. You can measure those by your social media. You should post your presentation in the video form in social media as well. You can connect to your audience through social media, and if you're doing good, then you'll get good feedback, because when people watch something good or listen or hear something good, they always, it's the instinct of a human being that they just automatically come forward and make their opinion about the videos. Okay. Or speeches. Yeah. So this is all about this book. I think I have taken much time for this book, but this is my favorite book, man. I just love it. I love it. So next I am going to make reviews on these 6 books. Oh my god. This is difficult. Making a long video, making an hour-long video is difficult, but I think I am halfway there. What should I take first? I think I should making a smart decision. This one. Okay, making a smart decision. Making smart decisions. I am not going to be not going to detail these things. Okay. This book is also an ensemble of 10 groundbreaking concepts proposed or written by famous persons in this field. Okay, and it's about decisions, how one should make smart decisions. This is very important, right? So every day, constantly, we are making decisions. Some bring good to us, some bring bad to us. So you should be smart enough to make good decisions, so that whatever you made as a decision benefits you in the end, right? So the hidden traps in decision making. I don't know how to explain this thing. So the first article is written by John Hammond, Ralph Kinney, and Howard Reifer. Sorry if I mispronounce these names, okay? And they wrote the hidden traps in decision making. So what are the hidden traps? What are the hidden traps in decision making? So by John S. Hammond, Ralph L. Kinney, and Howard Reifer. Okay. So making decisions is the most important job of any executive. It's also the toughest and the riskiest. Yeah, true, right? So decision making is very important. So this chapter has idea in brief section like this. So normally Harvard review books are in a very organized way. So idea in brief, I definitely should not read the whole thing out to you. The status quo, what you can do about it. It's the status quo traps. So this article is all about traps that you might fall into when you want to make decisions on anything or any topic, right? Yeah. So and how you should avoid these traps? The confirming evidence trap. What can you do about it? What can you do about it? The framing trap. Wow. Yeah, they're there. And what can you do about it? The estimating and forecasting traps. The estimating and forecasting traps. And how do you... The overconfidence trap. We all have that overconfidence trap, right? The prudence trap. The recalibability trap. And what can you do about it? The forwardness. The forewarned is forearmed. Forewarned is forearmed. Wow. This phrase is already impacting my thought. Forewarned is forearmed means if you are warned beforehand, then you are armed well. You are armed better. So if you're warned before, then you are armed better. So that's what it means actually. So forewarned is forearmed. That's so good. The next is before you make that big decision, what should be done before you make that big decision? The challenge of avoiding bias. Bias kills. The behavioral economics of decision making. The preliminary questions. What are these preliminary questions? Ask yourself. Check for self-interested biases. Check for affect heuristic. Heuristic. I don't know what heuristic is. I think I should educate myself on this topic. Check for groupthink. Okay. Ask the recommenders. Check for saliency bias. Oh my god, there are lots of questions. These questions are really so good and all about biases. Yeah. Decision quality control, a checklist. You should make a checklist about the quality of how you can control a decision. Yep. And you should know where the numbers are coming from on your sheet on which you're measuring quality of your decisions, improving decisions throughout the organizations. Okay. How do you improve your decisions throughout the organization? Organization of what? Organization of your thought, organization of everything. Next article is about how to avoid catastrophe. How to avoid catastrophe. Failures happen, but if you pay attention to near misses, you can predict and prevent crisis. Most people think of near misses as harrowing close calls that could have been a lot worse. When a firefighter escapes a burning building moments before it collapses, or when a tornado miraculously veers away from a town in its path. I cannot proceed reading this because one book needs a full video to give you a clear picture of the message that it wants to deliver. So if you want to install the main idea or the crux idea or the set of ideas that a book has, then you have to read it yourself. It's good that you get a good review from somebody else so that something you have in your mind before you just dive into reading this book. But if you really want to install the idea presented in any book, then you have to read the book yourself. That's the main idea. You cannot skip this essential part. You definitely cannot skip this essential part. You have to read yourself. A root of crisis. Focus on failure. Tired of piddle problems. So this article is presenting to you some examples set in the past from which you can get lessons from, like Toyota pedal problems. So I'm taking a pause because of Azan. So while the Azan is going on, let me take a look at these books, because I don't think that I can finish. I will finish telling about all these books, but it's taking time. Structuring the debate. Focusing. Okay, let's talk a few more things, like how unethical are you? Again, Azan. And I will pray after making this video. I'm almost done, so I'm not gonna take a break right now, because I'll just finish the video first, then I'll go for prayer. Hey, I just realized that I made a mistake. Like each book has 10 must-read articles. It's not about like this. So it maybe for me it was confusing that it only has 6 books inside of it, and it says that HBR's 10 must read. It's not that way actually. Each book actually has 10 groundbreaking ideas, and that's why each book is called HBR's 10 must reads. Okay. So yeah, that was my realization when I was being silent for the prayer call. And the last section says that stop making plans, start making decisions. So if a lot of people just plan, but they don't make decisions. For example, before going to any tour, for example, if friends actually make lots of plans, we'll do that, we'll do this, we'll do that, and whatnot. But just before the day of the tour, they cannot make decisions about whether they're gonna make it or not. Okay, that's I think the most relatable example that I can draw. Okay, yeah. So the last article is by Michael C. Mankins and Richard Steele. Sorry if I mispronounced these names. And it's about making plans, not making stop making plans and start making decisions. So this is about smart decisions. Okay, I'm sorry, I think I haven't described it very well. Then comes the emotional intelligence. Okay, this is very important. What makes a leader? The contents are like what makes a leader. Primal leadership, the hidden driver of great performance. Actually, what drives most. Okay, so that's why it's called. And in the cover of the book, something is really important, I think. In his defining work on emotional intelligence, best-selling author Daniel Goleman found that it is twice as important as other competencies in determining outstanding leadership. Wow, yeah. So great leaders are emotionally very intelligent. Okay, intellectually they're intelligent, definitely, but to be a leader, it requires you to be emotionally twice or more than twice as important as you're intellectually intelligent. Okay, that's the message. Okay, the third section is about why it's so hard to be fair. Okay, by Joel Bruckner. The fourth section is why good leaders make bad decisions. Andrew Campbell, Joe Whitehead, and Sidney Finkelstein, building the emotional intelligence of groups. The price of incivility, lack of respect, hurts moral, and the bottom line, how resilience works. Emotional agility, how effective leaders manage their negative thoughts and feelings. The second last one is, or the ninth one is, fear of feedback. So you maybe feedback scares you like hell. Okay, maybe fears actually freak you out so much. It's about that. Okay, then Young and the Clueless. It's by Carrie A. Bunker, Kathy E. Crum, and Sharon Ting. Okay. So that's emotional intelligence. If you ask me personally what I know about emotional intelligence, I know that, I think 95% is about how you manage people. Okay, it's not about how technical sound you are to manage project, to manage whatever you need to manage. You have to be emotionally very connectable to other people. You need to be emotionally very impactful to others. If you're not, then you cannot manage things well. So maybe you're very competent in using technology, in computers and Excels, Google Sheets and whatever, but you cannot connect your employees or your colleagues emotionally well, then you cannot have impact on them. They will not listen to you, or you just will fall apart in the long run. Not even in the long run, in the short run you might fall apart if you cannot connect to them emotionally. You have to be likable enough. You need to be influential enough to their lives, to their decision making even. Okay. So to be a great leader, you need to be emotionally very intelligent. So when you're emotionally very intelligent, so you are very impactful onto others' life, right? So it's all of that. That's my personal opinion about emotional intelligence, right? So let's move on to the next book. So from now on, I'll be blazing fast. Okay, it's about new managers, for new managers. So the people who just have taken a new project or become a new manager. This has 10 articles that are must read for you. You should read these 10 articles that are must. So let me read the content. Let me read the contents for you. So it's becoming a boss. I don't like to be a boss. You cannot become a boss. Boss is somebody who pushes the teammates or colleagues. Okay, they just push. Bosses push the team to get things done. A leader do not push. A leader is actually in front of the team, and they just pull the team behind, and a boss actually stays behind and push the team forward. And this is very impulsive. If you push the team forward, the team will push you back, and the project will stand still and it will not progress. Rather, you just go all the way around to the front of that team and just pull your team forward. You should show the direction to which the team should move to. Okay, yeah. So you can't be a boss. You should be a leader, right? So leading the team you inherit, by Michael D. Watkins. Saving your rookie managers from themselves. Managing the high-intensity workplace, harnessing the science of persuasion. And what makes a leader? What makes a leader? The authenticity paradox. The authenticity paradox by Herminia Ibarra. Managing your boss. How leaders create and use networks. Is important network. I think I should give a pause on this section, and before move on to the next section, I think I should say something about networking. Networking is very, very important. So you cannot live by yourself. Okay, you need to have a good network. I mean, you are average of the people you go by, you go along with. Okay, so you are average. So that's why you should mix with people that are higher than you in terms of intellectuality, in terms of education, in terms of accomplishment, in terms of background and whatsoever. Then the average of those people will be you. Okay, so the network is very important. So you should choose wisely before you have or you form a network. Okay, so authenticity paradox. I don't know about authenticity. I have to read this article first to know about it. So managing your boss. Yeah, so managing your boss. So you may be the boss of a team, but maybe you also have a boss, right? So you should be able to manage your boss peacefully. Your boss should be satisfied with your performance, right? Yeah. How leaders create and use networks, management time, and who's got the monkey, and bonus article. So it has also, it doesn't have only 10 articles, it has a bonus article also. And it's by Michael D. Watkins, and how managers become leaders. That's the goal, right? You are supposed to be a leader eventually. So if you're a manager that cannot lead a project, then management doesn't suffice for the success of a project. You should be able to lead, okay? You should direct your audience to greater good, right? So that's the reason you should need to know how you become leader in the future. So let me take the next book. It's about communication. Oh my God, communication. Like previously I said that you should mix with people that are higher than you in terms of everything. And to make such network, you need to be very good at communications. Communication is the prerequisite for good network, right? Yeah, so let me read out the in contents first. To change the way you persuade people, right? By Gray A. Williams and Robert Miller. Harnessing the Science of Persuasion by Robert B. Sila. Sorry, I can't pronounce this. Sorry. Oh, let me try once more. Robert B. Cialdini. Sincerely apologize if I mispronounce the name. The Power of Talk by Deborah Tannen. The Necessary Art of Persuasion by J. A. Conger. Is Silence Killing Your Company by Leslie Parlow and Stephanie Williams. How to Become an Authentic Speaker, Telling Tales, Stephen Denning. How to Pitch a Brilliant Idea by Kimberly D. Elsbach. The 5 Messages Leaders Must Manage, Taking the Streets Out of Stressful Conversations by Holly Wicks. So these are 10 groundbreaking ideas about communication you must read, okay? Yep. So let's talk about other books like HBR, the teams. Well, if you're a leader, then you have a team, and because unless you have a team, you cannot be a leader. Who will you lead, right? The question leaves. Okay, yeah, the contents. The New Science of Building Great Teams. By Alex Sandy Pentland. Why Teams Don't Work, an interview with J. Richard Hackman by Diane Kotu. The Discipline of Teams by John R. Katzenbach or Douglas K. Smith. Eight Ways to Build Collaborative Teams by Linda Grannon, Tamara J. Erickson. The Power of Small Wins, Teresa M. Amabile and Stephen J. Kramer. So Building the Emotional Intelligence of Groups, the Vanessa Ark Draskat and Stephen B. Wolf. Managing Multicultural Teams, Jen Brett and Kristen Beller and Mary C. Curran. When Teams Can't Decide, Bob Frisch. Virtuoso Teams, Bill Fisher and Andy Boynton. How Management Teams Can Have a Good Fight by Kathleen M. Eisenhardt, Zine L. Kahawaji, and L.J. Burgos. I'm very sorry if I mispronounced any of the names, okay, of these great minds. I'm very sorry for that, but these are the articles on teams, how you should manage teams, okay? You must read if you want to manage your team well, or the dynamics of a team, how teams should work, right? Now comes, you have done a lot of things for what? You have done a lot of things so far for what? So that's why I put it at last. You are doing all these things for sales. That's the fundamental or the sole purpose of everything, sales or conversion, right? So conversions are everything. So and if you can't make sales, then everything will fall apart eventually. So sales are very important, or that's the core purpose of whatever you do, right? So let's read the contents. Major sales. Who really does the buying? You need to identify your buyers first, the behavior or the characteristics of the buyers. Ending the war between sales and marketing. The people who are confused between marketing and sales, this article will clarify all this confusion. Okay, and this is very important because a lot of people believe that, well, this should be one department in a company. There should not two separate departments on each of these, like marketing team and sales team. There should be one team that's sales and marketing, right? But they are completely different teams based on different principle, based on different purpose. Okay? Yeah. So match your sales force structure to your business life cycle. The end of solution sales. I'm not reading the great names now because you know what, I mispronounce, but I can show you. But I definitely can show you. You can read. You can take a screenshot. You can definitely take a screenshot and read yourself. Sorry about it. Selling into micro markets, dismantling the sales machine, tiebreaker selling, making the consensus sell, the right way to use compensation, how to really motivate salespeople. And this book also has a bonus article, getting beyond, show me the money. Okay, show me the money. Getting beyond, you should go beyond money actually. So there are other things to gain, other things to have in your life apart from monies only. Okay. So yeah, so this book is also very important, as I mentioned. This is the purpose of business, right? This is the purpose of everything, sales or conversions. So if you read this book, it will be, I should not claim that you'll be an expert in sales, but you will have a very solid foundation of what to do and what not to do if you want to have good sales, or if you want to clarify all the confusions about sales or the marketing, or the confusions that exist for centuries, I don't know for how long, maybe forever, between sales and marketing. This book will clarify all those confusions. So these are the books. The video is getting very long, so these are the books that I have talked a few lines about in this video, okay? But I kind of educate myself about the contents of these books, and definitely this is enticing me to read all these books later, maybe very soon. I haven't been able to read this book for a very long time, but now I think I have done the due duty, right, to entice myself, to trick myself into reading these books. And yeah, after reading all the contents of all these books, I feel really triggered. I really do. Yeah. Okay, so I'll make new videos soon, and whenever I'll finish reading each of this book, I'll make videos on that book, on the particular book. Okay. So until then, take care, and I'll make new videos very soon, I think. Yeah, but definitely not about books, about different topics, and I believe that we will together have a good journey ahead. Okay. Keep me in your prayers and read books, because videos or movies, actually, by watching movies and videos, you cannot install the ideas that these books have, okay? So if you want to install the ideas that these books have, then you have to read these books yourself. Okay, definitely you can take a look at some reviews, but reading this, there's no alternative to reading these books. Okay, enough talks. Take care of yourself. Well, I'll see you very soon. Okay, bye.